Just because something worked for you in the past doesn't mean it's gonna keep working. Every single one of us have faced some trauma in our childhood. And because of that trauma, we develop certain coping mechanism in order to deal with that trauma, to face the world and deal with other people. And that coping mechanism can be very different depending on that trauma and who you are as a person. Some people become more wary and careful with other people and more avoidant during conversations, while other people might become more socially awkward and develop social anxiety. Some people might develop some type of workaholism in order to distract themselves from all the shit that they have been through. It can really manifest in so many different ways and in different shapes and forms. And we end up living a big portion of our lives in that program, in that way of dealing with things and life. And it makes sense that we subconsciously do that because that coping mechanism did help us go through so many things. It did protect us from the world. It did protect us from other people. But we reach a point in our lives where things start to backfire. That social anxiety is hindering us from our need to interact with other people, to make new friends. Or maybe being too avoidant is destroying our few relationships that we still have because we keep ignoring our friends' or partners' needs. And yet, even when we realize that, we keep living in the same program. We keep living in the same way because we think it have worked for us in the past and it has to keep working. We just don't know what else to do. And if we are self-aware enough and lucky, we might finally break that program. We might finally change and develop a new system that works for us now. To give you a good example of this, I have spent most of my 20s basically not really doing much. Because of many things that happened in my childhood, I was just letting the wind take me wherever it goes without making any proactive decision. Things just happened around me and I went with them. I lived that way for so long until one day I realized that all of the decisions that I have made were just made for me. And so I wanted to be more proactive. I became much more productive. I went to the gym. I started reading. My life really turned over. I became someone who worked so much in their lives, and that made me so much more happy and confident in myself. And this new program, this productive me program, worked for me for so many years until it didn't anymore. I became really good at living that productive lifestyle and being in that mindset that it started at some point to backfire in other areas. I started to struggle again with friendships, with relationships. I just didn't know how to have that balance between being productive and giving time to my friends and even to myself. I started to burn out. I started to hate life again, to hate what I was doing. It just became too much. I built a system that worked so well for me for so many years that I got so much stuck in it and I just didn't know how to change that. It became my world for so long that I just didn't know how to live otherwise. Eventually, things started to turn around and I managed to get rid of that program and start to have my life a little bit again. I realized that I needed to calm down. I needed to relax and do things that bring me joy in the moment instead of this constant productivity that eventually led me nowhere. I needed to find balance again. And I feel like this is something that is always ongoing. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one who think that or deal with that. I'm pretty sure that most of us are dealing with the same thing. We live in a certain way for so long that eventually we realize we need to change. And then we develop a new system and a new mindset for living that helps us go through and push through life until it stops doing that, until we need to change again. And maybe there is nothing wrong with that, as long as we are aware when something stops working. And this is just true to so many things that we do in our lives. No matter what you do, no matter if it's good or bad, it might help you for a while, but you need to know when to stop, when to try something new. You need to always keep room for doubt and skepticism and realizing if things have stopped working or if they are still working in your favor. We just tend to be so stubborn about what we know and what we think is true that we just don't want to change. We keep trying, and we do that even with some friendships and relationships where we realize something is toxic, we realize this friendship isn't working anymore, but we keep giving chances and trying again and again just because we want to hang on and we don't want to see ourselves failing or being proven wrong. And maybe that's where the core of the issue is, our stubbornness and our need to be right. Just like many other things, awareness is really important, but I don't think it's enough. It's really important to try new things, to be open minded and exploring new beliefs, new ways of living, new tools, and seeing what sticks and how long it's going to stick. When do we need to change that? And this could be how life is in general until the moment we die. It's just developing things, changing things, developing ourselves endlessly. It's a journey that has no real destination. It's all about the journey itself. This video might be a little abstract, but my head in general feels a little bit abstract today. So I hope this made sense. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.